So with the last Snare Saturday video, I compared two Ludwig Chrome over Brass snare drums. One was a 5x14 and the other was a 6.5x14. Well, in this video, I'm going to compare two different snare drums, one being that vintage sound that everybody loves, and the other being a modern day drum. What's going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video I'm going to be comparing a late 60s Ludwig LM400 Supraphonic to a modern day 5x14 Chrome over Brass snare drum. Because vintage Supraphonics, specifically from the 60s, are really popular because of their sound, I wanted to compare it to a modern day snare drum like the Chrome over Brass. That way you could hear the difference between the two and decide for yourself which one you prefer. Now, before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. Now, both of the drums that are in this video have been featured in earlier Snare Saturday videos. The first one is a late 60s Ludwig Supraphonic, also known as the LM400. Based off of the date stamp that you can kind of see on the inside of the shell, this drum is from 1968. So this is a late 60s chrome over aluminum Supraphonic, also known as a Lud alloy shell. And if it is original, it should have 1.6 millimeter triple flange hoops on the top and the bottom. Ludwig's late 60s P83 throw-off, and this late 60s Supraphonic is outfitted with 10 double-sided imperial lugs, as well as the baseball bat style internal muffler. Now, the reason why I wanted to show this drum is because this is the sought-after Supraphonic sound that everybody is going after. It is from the late 60s, and although it isn't chrome over brass, it's chrome over aluminum because it is a Supraphonic. But if you search on any drum forum, you're going to see that a lot of people talk about this specific era being the one that is the best, just because of the combination of the thickness of the triple flange hoops along with the shell. And since it is chrome over aluminum, that is a specific sound. So might as well compare it to something that's modern, like the Ludwig Chrome over Brass LB400BT snare drum, which once again was also featured in an earlier Snare Saturday video. Now, this is a drum that you can get from your favorite Ludwig retailer, which is a 1.2 millimeter seamless chrome over brass shell, 2.3 triple flange hoops on the top and the bottom, Ludwig's P88 AC and P35P butt plate, and this drum in particular is outfitted with 10 double-sided tube lugs. Now, just like every other modern day snare drum, this does not have an internal damper, although it would be pretty cool if that's something that was reintroduced to snare drums. So for this comparison, although the shell configurations are different from one another and the hoops are going to be different thicknesses, both drums have been outfitted with the same heads, which are a Remo Ambassador X coated on the top and an Ambassador snare side on the bottom. So with this video, it will help you determine if you want to go with a drum that is vintage or something that is more modern, but then also make that decision, do you like the sound of chrome over aluminum or the sound of chrome over brass? Now, before we continue on with this video, I wanted to just take a moment to remind you all of the 6.5x14 Ludwig Chrome over Brass snare drum giveaway at shop.nickcostamusic.com. At the time of this video going live, there will be 8 days left in this giveaway. And all you have to do is grab something for yourself at shop.nickcostamusic.com and automatically be entered to win this drum, along with brand new heads from Remo, additional snare wires from Pure Sound, and a black Ludwig snare drum case to go along with it. So you can get something like this Practice Makes Permanent shirt that I am wearing and automatically be entered. You can even buy a hat or a sticker, even the drum library I made with my friends over at Cardinal Recordings, and automatically be entered to win this prize package that has an approximate retail value of over $950. And since this is such a short giveaway, the probability of you winning is pretty high. It's a lot higher than the lottery, I can tell you that much. But the difference is with the lottery, if you don't win, you get nothing. With this, you'll at least get something for yourself, like a shirt, a sweatshirt, a hat, sticker, or whatever else you see at shop.nickcostamusic.com. Now, to make things more interesting, for the remainder of the giveaway, there will be a 5x multiplier. So spend $10 and get 50 entries. Spend $100 and get 500 entries. Now is the time to get something for yourself and get a 5 times multiplier for your purchase so you can up the probability of you winning this drum. So head over to shop.nickcostamusic.com, grab anything for yourself or for somebody else as a gift, and automatically be entered to win. Now, let's get back to the video. So just like every other Snare Saturday video, I'm gonna play these drums through a few different tunings, and I will play them back to back so you can hear the differences that they make. Now, since that modern day chrome over brass snare drum does not have an internal dampener, so these drums are gonna be as wide open as they possibly can be with the current head configuration that is on them. Now, in each tuning, I'm gonna start with the chrome over brass because if we go back in history, that was known as the Super Ludwig, which was the predecessor to the Supraphonic. So, enough of me talking, let's dive in. So there's a couple things I want to identify straight out the gate. Number one, the chrome over brass snare drum is much heavier than the chrome over aluminum snare drum. This is one thing that everybody talks about when they're looking for vintage Supraphonics and trying to determine if it's chrome over brass or chrome over aluminum. The chrome over brass drums are usually heavier just because they're brass and they're not aluminum. The same thing occurs with this. Even though it's a modern day drum and a vintage drum, the chrome over brass is quite heavier. Additionally, when I was going from one tuning to the next, I would do a half turn on each tension rod. And by doing so, the Supraphonic, the chrome over aluminum, would be substantially higher in pitch than the chrome over brass. Now they're both 5x14 shells and they both have 10 lugs. But most likely because of the configuration of the shells, one being chrome over brass and the other being chrome over aluminum, that aluminum is just a little bit brighter, so it would cause the pitch to be higher. So that would mean once I would do the half turn on every tension rod for both drums, I would then have to bring the chrome over brass up a little bit and the chrome over aluminum down a little bit until they were close to one another in pitch. Also, with that very cranked tuning at the end, it started to sound like the chrome over brass was a bit choked out. Mind you, I had this tuned really high. But that chrome over aluminum, although it was also higher in pitch, didn't sound as choked out. So maybe this is because it's chrome over aluminum, maybe because of the shell construction being slightly different than a modern day drum, or it's because the hoops are a little bit thinner. Either way, to me, it didn't sound as choked out. Either way, I would love to get your feedback and what you thought of each drum, so make sure that you leave that in the comment section below, letting me know. Also, if you have any other additional questions on either drum, feel free to leave that in the comment section as well, and I will try my best to answer it. Also, if you have any questions on either drum, or maybe the gear that I'm playing, or how I tuned each drum, feel free to leave that in the comment section as well, and I will try my best to answer it. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see some of the earlier videos from the Snare Saturday series, I put a link to the playlist in the description below, and I'll also have it pop up right here to make it a bit easier for you. I will also link to the videos where I am featuring each drum by themselves in case you want to check that out as well. Also, as another friendly reminder, at the time of this video going live, there will be 8 days left on the Ludwig 6.5x14 chrome over brass snare drum giveaway at shop.nickcostamusic.com. And simply by grabbing something for yourself like this Practice Makes Permanent shirt automatically gets you entered to win this drum. And to make it more interesting, in case you are somebody who likes to wait till the last minute, or you're somebody who wants to get some additional entries before this ends, there will be a 5x multiplier until the end of this giveaway. So every $1 that you spend will get you 5 entries to win this drum. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for others to find it. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on comparing a chrome over aluminum to a chrome over brass snare drum. And until next time, see you later.